Done.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tori Cruz Show. You are in for such a special treat today. We have Dariush Soudi coming all the way from Dubai. And I just am so excited before I tell you everything about his accomplishments and how amazing he is at sales and marketing and entrepreneurship and a family man. He is one of the most authentic men that I've ever met. And when I was at Monster Nation in Nashville, Tennessee for Natalie and Coach Bert's conference. We met there and just instantly you could just like feel the rapport and just his genuine, authentic energy and the way that he just cares for people. And so that's why he's on the show today. You guys know my heart for authenticity and just genuine hearts. And that's who Dariush is. So I want to welcome you first, Dariush. And just thank you so much for taking the time today. I know it's nighttime over there in Dubai. so thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be invited, Tori. Thank you so much. Now, did you know that when we met, I actually was going through a heart attack?
Oh my gosh, that's right. You had a heart attack right there at the conference.
At the conference, when I finished the talk, do you recall in the morning, I just came to see your talk because I was at the hospital.
Yes.
Because you messaged me, are you coming? And I said, yes, I'm coming to, I just had a heart attack.
And you said that you were like doing I think you said something about a COVID test or something. Then you came over and you're like, no, I had a heart attack. And that was crazy. And then you went up and spoke.
Yes. And then I dismissed myself from hospital and then flew to Dubai because I don't want to be in some US hospital with no family there. Yeah. And then went to our doctor here, and a heart surgeon said, you've had a massive heart attack and we should operate on you straight away. And I said, no, I've got 2 more talks today and tomorrow and day after. And then let's schedule it in 3 days, which we did. And, I thought to myself, I call my kind of followers and students gladiators. And I thought, you know what, I'm a gladiator and it's not my time. And I made a promise to people that I'll show up. And I would just thought, I'll have to be a walking, talking person who talks, who actually walks his values, just doesn't talk it. So I made those promises and commitments to Coach Bert. I made my promises to people here in Dubai. I did the talks, made it through the heart attack and the operation, and I'm here to kick ass.
Wow. You're here to kick ass. I like it. That's the truth.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. I'm in sales and marketing, and I hope it never happens to you. But when you have a heart attack, you can either cut your chest open and fix it, open heart surgery, or they do through this incredible thing called stents technology. And what they do is through a vein in your groin and your wrist, they feed tubes, and then they put a little balloon in there and it opens up your artery without any cutting or anything like this. But and also I was sedated. So if you imagine, because I had a heart attack before 12 years ago, and insurance companies don't insure somebody for heart problems if they've had a heart attack before. So everywhere I go, if anything happens to me, I have to pay cash. So I go in and say it's 100,000 for this heart surgery, so I pay. Okay, and I'm under the knife or whatever you call it. I'm sedated on the bed, and if you really force yourself to watch the operation, you can actually see it being done. They're working on your heart while you're awake. Okay, so I'm sedated.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm kind of half awake, half asleep, and the surgeon wakes me up and he says, Dariush, I said, what is it? He goes, we found another artery that's closed. That will be another 20,000. Is that okay? And I'm like, what am I going to say? Right?
Just one word, yes or no, and 20,000.
Or can I negotiate? Or can you just leave that one? Or do you do 3 for 2?
Yeah.
I just went, okay. So I'm like, that's the best closing technique I've ever seen in my life. Put them under the heart surgeon. And then do you want me to continue or should I just leave it? So they just stuck me with under 20,000.
Wow. You know what I think of though, when you say that is financial freedom, because I think some people that may be listening to this who are maybe new entrepreneurs or just new into business, or maybe have been in business for quite a while, but they're thinking, oh my gosh, 100,000 just to, just like that, when unexpectedly, like just to have that money just to do that. But then also when you're under the blade and they say, hey, another 20K, like yes or no. And
the stress can kill you.
Yeah.
Stress can kill you.
Right.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I swear, I was lying there thinking, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to be in a position that I can say that. But I wasn't like this 10 years ago. You know, I had nothing 10 years ago. I had it, I lost it, and I'm on the way back up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I was counting my blessings, thinking, thank you, God. You know, it's not a small hit, it's not small change, but yeah, I could absorb it. So yes, you're absolutely right. And I really believe abundance, be it financial or happiness or health, should be, you know, everybody's right. It's everybody's right to have abundance in life. And
Yeah.
I think my job, and I think yours is also, is to make sure that people achieve those, you know, they call it secrets. Okay. I don't think abundance is a secret. It's just our conditioning. Yes. And I think if we can help others to unlock those secrets, yes, and give them what they rightfully is theirs, is our goal in life. That's what I got from you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my goal, you know, to help as many people as much as possible. I'm not a life coach, I'm not a marriage counselor. You know, what I do is I help people to make more money, and hopefully they're all good and can do more good things with the money that they're earning.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I want to go back to, you said you had money, you lost it all, and then now you're back. So like, let's go way back to like, when did you become an entrepreneur? How old were you then?
I was about 14, and then I realized that I wasn't like others. I'd just come to the UK, England from Iran. I couldn't speak English. I was being bullied all the time, but I wasn't a quitter. I lost my father age 3, my grandfather. Yeah, I lost my grandfather age 7. So I knew life was very short at a very young age. And I just wanted to make my life count. And I wasn't going to allow bullies at school to defeat me. I wasn't going to allow a new country, a lack of that language knowledge, or yeah, to defeat me. So I learned martial arts. I tried to learn to speak English without an accent. And then I realized that schooling wasn't for me because I was dyslexic. So the only job I could have that actually earned me more money than my education was sales. So I got into sales, and again, not particularly great salesperson, but I was the hardest worker. Hard work is all I knew. And I realized that the harder I work, the more money I earn. But if I can polish up my axe, I can even magnify that result. So through hard work, I did okay. I did okay. And then I met my ex-wife, and she was in the beauty industry. And I saw an opportunity to get into the beauty industry. And very quickly, we did quite well. And then I saw another opportunity to open up health clubs outside town centers. And I took a risk, opened one. Within a few years, we had 7. We ran those for 17 years. And then we became friends more than lovers. So we divorced. I had a beautiful wife now. But I became a target. And one night at home, I got broken into, and 4 people attacked me at my house at knife point. And they threatened to kill me with a knife to my neck. And my children were in the house. And I talked them out of it, flew the children to Dubai because I feared the safety. And then I had a heart attack a few weeks later because of the stress and the pressure of it all. And within 1 year, this was 2009, I lost everything. I lost absolutely everything. But I remember when I had a heart attack, I was lying, my first one, I was lying in a hospital bed, looking at the ceiling, thinking, I don't want this to be the last view of my life. You know, I want better than this. And if I survive this, I want to write my values down, my goals, and I want to achieve them. And one of them was to get out of England and go to Dubai because the sun shines 360 days a year. So I survived, obviously, came here with age 44 with $750 in my pocket. I lived in a maid's room. I was worth millions and millions a year before. Lived in a maid's room, door knocked for 6 months. My diet was 2 coffees and a sugar donut a day in Starbucks because they offered free internet. And I built it again slowly and slowly. So we turn over millions of dollars a month. And thank you, God, if it means anything, but we're a profitable business. Our clients pay us up front. but I'm very clear with my values, because when you have a life-changing experience, you realize that I don't have to sell my soul for money. You know, I can be myself and I'm good enough. But if I work hard enough and use my experience from the past, you can make it. So 5 years ago, somebody asked me to do a talk. I'd never done a talk before. Room started with about 100 people. When I finished, there was 150 people in the room. They were all dancing, crying, laughing. Somebody opened up a Facebook page. The Facebook page went viral with hundreds of thousands of followers. And then it just kicked off. And I just thought maybe I do have some kind of a gift to help others, because I don't want them to have a heart attack. I don't want them to lose everything. Yes, but if I can guide people to be successful from my experiences, then that's my legacy.
Oh man, there's so much to dissect out of that whole story. It's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Anything you want.
And so I guess I should probably really say like exactly what you do, right? I have your bio here in front of me. I'm just like authentic, genuine, amazing leader, sales. But like, so just for everybody to know, Dariush is the CEO of Be Unique Group, and it's a digital marketing agency based out of, well, Dubai, London, New York, and Sydney. And he has over 35 plus years of experience, which I think by that story, you can kind of tell he has a ton of experience in successful businesses and motivating teams. And so he's just a pioneer in the sales and marketing world, and he calls all his clients, like you heard him say, gladiators, right? So I had to tell our listeners a little bit about the actual credential part, even though I like to focus more so on the heart and the passion of what you shared in your story. And so you have a ton of entrepreneurial experience that's made massive impact in entrepreneurs' lives and businesses and organizations. But I want to go back to that first time when you started your first business. Like, what were those? You know, I have a lot of new entrepreneurs that listen to my podcast, and so what are really like those first steps? Like, it's a very fearful decision sometimes to become an entrepreneur. It's a lot of risk.
Yes,
but
amazing.
What would you go back now and maybe tell, because now we have so much technology, we have so much access to personal development, personal growth, and material. What would you go back now and tell that younger self of yours, like when you first started that business? Like, what would you do now?
It's actually really interesting, because I know that you started your world in the beauty world, yes? And when you didn't become number one, you could almost take it as a personal rejection, okay? Because you are embodying the product, you are everything that's on stage, right? And one of the biggest things, and I say to entrepreneurs, don't take rejection personally, okay? One of the reasons that people fail is because as an entrepreneur, they don't realize you get rejected 9 out of 10. You know, it's not about you. It just may not fit the credentials, or it's a square peg in a round hole with your future possible prospects. So just keep working hard and knocking on doors. Unfortunately, too many people, they don't do enough research. They jump head first. They get a couple of rejections and they get distraught. Okay. As an entrepreneur, as you said, it's a risky business. So, and rejection is part of the game. So get used to it, because one rejection, you get closer to a yes. So just keep knocking on enough doors. And no matter how bad your product or service is, if you knock on enough doors, some idiot will buy your product. Okay.
I always say every no is one step closer to your yes.
Yes, but you know what? You don't have to have the best product, but if you work hard enough, somebody will buy your product. Okay. So if I see someone who says, well, nobody's buying it, so you're not working hard enough, because there's always an idiot buyer. Okay. But you don't want to sell to the idiot buyers. You want to have a good product, good service, offer value, and pick up really good prospects. Okay. So that's the first thing. Rejection is not personal. It's just your product service may not hit their needs. So my favorite word in business is next. Next.
That's awesome. I like the part. Somebody is going to buy your product though.
Somebody, if you knock on enough doors, somebody will buy your product. Yeah. So, and then I would say offer a value. Okay. I would say most people, most entrepreneurs have their own personal challenges with money. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's certain things in life that can trigger you. And one is religion, politics, sex, and money. These are very strong triggers. And I noticed that many people don't value themselves or their products or services. Okay, so they charge too little. So what I say to entrepreneurs is, first of all, why you set up the business? What kind of value are you bringing to the marketplace? And what's the worth of that value? Okay, how much of the headache are you fixing with your prospects, with their business? Yes. And then how much is that worth to them? And charge that equivalent amount. Because far too often we have a problem charging people because we have a problem with money ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the only difference between me and Bill Gates, apart from $150 billion, is that he makes better use of his time. He values his time more, right, than I do. So value your time, value yourself, and have a better relationship with money, because business is all about money. Forget all that passion. Yes, of course, you have to be passionate to get longevity, but if you don't make money, you're a charity, right? So have a really good relationship with money. Visualize yourself having cash in your hand, because if you're a good person, you do good things with it. Money is energy, and money gives you choices, right? So the more choices you have, the more freedom you have. So those are the things I would advise entrepreneurs.
I think you just hit something there when it comes to money, right? And when it comes to sales, and there are a lot of limiting beliefs, I believe, that can be boiled up into money just from like your upbringing that you carry over into your adult life. It could be even like money is the root of all evil, or money is attached with arrogance, or
doesn't grow on trees.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Rich people are bad people.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there
who do you think we are? Who do you think we are? Rockefellers?
Right. but money really does just kind of, it's who you already are just blows up, right, with money. I can't think of the right word right now, but it's like who you already are. So if you have a giving heart, if you have a loving heart, magnifies. Right. Like money just magnifies who you already are. So I think if you're a good soul, if you're a good heart, great intentions, then it's only going to magnify, and you can bless. Actually, one of my friends last night and I were just talking about that. And because I was telling him I want to be a multimillionaire, and he's like, why? And so does he, but we were talking
about the question is, why not?
That's exactly what I said. The first thing out of my mouth, I said, why not? And then I went into the different reasons that what money can do for other. I feel like I have a duty and a responsibility to that I've been given this by God, like inside of me, it's my responsibility to make this money for people who maybe don't have the capacity to do it, or the mental state to ever get out of those limiting beliefs.
I'm going to throw a spanner at the works. Okay. First of all, I promise you, I don't know this wonderful, amazing friend of yours, but I'm sure he's not rich.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. So rich people won't ask that question. Second thing is, always fill your cup first. Okay. So actually say, you know what? I want the best for myself and my family. After that, I will help others. Okay. And it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
Because people say, I want to get rich so I can give it all away to people. No, why? You get rich, fill your cup with abundance, fill your dear ones, loved ones, family, and then give, because then your cup's always full, right? So too many people, like entrepreneurs, they say, I haven't taken a salary out for 6 months. I paid all my staff and no, you idiot. You be the first to take the salary out.
Yeah.
Because you're such a great guy or lady, you're going to work twice as hard to make sure you've taken a salary, you pay your staff, right? Don't sacrifice your own happiness, empty your cup and expect to get yourself up, dust yourself down on an empty cup every day and be motivated to make money for other people.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's huge, right? Because I think the world does say, oh, well, if you have money, you're like obligated to say, oh, well, I want to give it to a lot of people, which there is that too. But what you just said is super, super important, because you have to take care of yourself, your family, and everything first before you.
Just like your health. Just like your health. If you die, who's going to take care of your family? So if your wallet dies, who's going to take care of your family? Look after yourself first, because when your batteries are full, when you're motivated and you're living abundance, then you're in what you say and what you do is in synergy. And when two wavelengths are in synergy, you become very, very powerful.
Yes. So what would you say are maybe 2 or 3 different steps that you would take if somebody is struggling with making money as a new entrepreneur? What would you say they need to do? Granted, multiple different businesses, but what would you say in general they would need to do to kind of get over that more or less mindset hump of
Turn your dreams into goals. Write them down, give them time scales, quantify them, and put them on a vision board. Look at them everywhere you go, all of the time, because the noise around you tells you that you're poor. Okay, but your vision and your goals that you're looking at every single day drives you there. Make daily action. This is what I did 10 years ago. Make daily action plans, daily. Break it down. What do you have to do every single day? When Tiger Woods was winning every golf tournament, all his competitors used to start from hole 1 and visualize themselves to hole 18 and winning the tournament. Tiger Woods used to visualize himself winning the tournament from the 18th and work backwards. Because in his head, he'd already won it. And he'd say, how did I win that? So when you're visualizing the Ferrari, the boat, the yacht, the plane, imagine yourself sitting in it. Don't sit here and look towards the goal. Look from the goal. Smell the leather. Feel the wind in your hair. Not mine, of course, my eyebrows, but feel the wind in your face, you know, smell the leather, taste the food. Yes, feel the sun in your face and feel those emotions, and your subconscious mind will take you there. But don't sit at home with a remote control in your hand, wishing and wanting. Take action. Most people don't even write their goals down, Tori. It breaks my heart. And if you can't be bothered, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but I want to ask you, when you write your goals down, do you write them as if they've already happened? So for instance, like I am a New York Times bestselling author.
Yes.
Okay.
And I did this in 6 months. And this is what I did. In the first month, I did this. Second month, I did this. Third month, I did this. Exactly. And I live by it. And you know what? Sometimes I skip it. Okay. But stop beating yourself up. Dance with it. You're a human being. You're not a machine. So, okay. And like my diet. Yeah. Okay. I ate a bit. I overate today. So what? It happens. I'm a human. Dance with it. Next day, diet starts. Or you continues. Because we too used to beating ourselves up. I don't think people celebrate enough. You know, when you're a child and you just take 2 steps, the world goes mad. You're not even walking, right? They throw you in there, celebrate, and we become adults. We achieve great things and nobody celebrates.
Yeah.
And everybody's ready to beat you up and knock you down. So we have to celebrate more. Love yourself again. Look in the mirror and think, I'm good enough. I'm more than enough. Yes. And unfortunately, too many people look through the mirror, look through the window rather than the mirror. Yes. They allow their ego to blind them. Too much ego makes you arrogant. Too much empathy makes you too soft. So you need to have the balance of ego and empathy. Be confident, but yet be humble enough to listen to people and change. And the first rule of business is people will do business with you if they like and trust you. Right. And that doesn't come through arrogance. It comes through empathy. Right. And the reason we hit it off, because we were just no ego. We just talk from heart to heart. Right. And that's it.
So you said, going back to the couple steps for the money beliefs, right? Is vision board number 1. I just want to repeat these. Is vision board or just visualize. And I totally second that. I visualize, and that's, I single-handedly, not the one reason, but that was a huge reason how I went and competed at Miss USA and won Miss Missouri, was because I visualized that. So number 1, I think that's huge too. Vision board, visualizing. And then you said something about daily action plans. And I want to go back to that and kind of break that down. What do you do for your daily action plans? Is that where you're saying you write down your goals?
If you say, for instance, you're a salesperson and you work for me, and I say your target is $300,000 this month, you think, my God, I've got 0 at beginning of the month. I'm never going to do 300,000. But if I show you that if you make 15 cold calls a day, 3 appointments face to face, and you can do $15,000 a day, that 300,000 is easily achievable and you can surpass it. So daily and hourly action plans make things very achievable in your mind. Okay. And life is a journey from A to B, but most of us take all sorts of routes It's like an aeroplane. We have the wind, turbulence, everything. And then we're going from Dubai to JFK and we end up something like in Brazil. And we wonder why we end up in Brazil, because we allow turbulence, noise, distraction to take us there. Now, if we have daily goals, we might get distracted for a day, but we'll guide ourselves back like an autopilot. So we get from A to B in the fastest possible time.
Yeah. So it's basically, when daily action plans is reverse engineering what your big monthly goal is.
Absolutely.
That's
so
amazing.
when I had nothing, and maybe I've gone a bit lethargic, but when I had nothing, I had minute action plans. I had to make every call every 3 minutes. I had to make sure I did my administrative work at night within half an hour. I made sure I caught up with my quotation in that half an hour. And from 9 till 1, 2 till 6, I was meeting people face to face. And I had to do 6 appointments a day. And that's the only way to success. Because what happens is if you give life inconsistent effort, okay, what are you going to get back? Inconsistent results.
Yeah.
Right. So if you consistently give, what's going to come back? Look at Elon Musk. He works the hardest. He's the hardest worker. People don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why he's worth $300 billion today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And 15 years ago or so, he was almost a bankrupt. He's a bigger thinker, works his ass off, and he offers value. And the reason he's so wealthy, because he doesn't think small.
Yeah.
He just thinks big.
Yeah.
And he's only 50.
He's only 50. Gosh, that's awesome. It's going.
You can say, oh, he's got 7 kids. It's not like he's got time in his hand, you know?
Yeah.
He's got 7 kids, 50 years old, bankrupt 15 years ago, almost, yes. And look where he is now, $300 billion.
Wow. It's amazing.
And going on.
So when you had all the success and then you lost all, what do you think, looking back now from when you're, going to the peak again, or at the peak, maybe right now, then what would you think is that one thing like that would cause you not to lose it all again? And how did you mentally get back up from something like that? Because that's a whole nother story.
Sure. I think people are motivated to do things in 2 ways. One is to gain pleasure. One is to avoid pain. Okay. So right now I'm doubly driven because I love the pleasure, but I don't want to go that pain again.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling away from the pain and I'm going towards the pleasure. So for instance, you have to learn from your mistakes. I had all my eggs in one basket, in one line of business. Okay. Now I have 9 different companies. And when COVID hit, my hospitality division took a massive hit, but my other 8 businesses supported it. Because from that past experience, I realized that you can't be a one-trick pony. You have to have different, so just in case one fails, the other ones can support it. And that experience saved me today. Because our online business took off when our hospitality business just died within 48 hours. So if you hadn't been for that pain of experience 10 years ago, I would never have been here today. But here's the thing, when you're going through a miserable time, you just have to tell yourself that this soon shall pass. And when you're going through a great time, you tell yourself this soon shall pass. Because life is like seasons, it's like day and night. Okay, everything passes, right? So no matter how miserable, and I've slept on the park bench, I've slept in the car, and I had to turn the engine on every half an hour to keep it warm, and then turn it off again because I couldn't afford the fuel, and you just have to keep telling yourself that you are worthy, you are going to work yourself out of it, and this soon shall pass. Just make sure you never go there again. What do you learn from these experiences? Because if you make the same mistakes again, you're stupid. Mm-hmm.
So when do you think you found what your true, let me ask you this first. Do you feel like you're living in your true calling now at this point in your life?
I go wherever I want to, how long I want to, with whoever I want to, and I don't have to answer to anyone. What a life. Mm-hmm. What a life. Honestly, sorry, if I can just, you say to me, look, I've got your gig on stage in whatever, in Phoenix tomorrow. I'll book the flight, go there, don't have to explain anything to anyone, stay as long as I want to fly back. That freedom is everything. And I just hope that I'm actually enjoying it now. Hopefully my health continues to improve and I can be here at least 20 odd years to see my grandchildren, to see some of these seeds that I planted become beautiful trees. And yeah, so that's the health you can't control. You have to live a healthy life. You have to eat well, exercise often. And as you get older, you become very aware of it. Life is extremely short.
Mm-hmm.
My 92-year-old grandmother told me, okay, life is short and just make the most of it. You never know when it's going to end. And they say life flashes in front of you the moment you're going to pass. Okay. And just make sure when that happens, just go, wow. Don't have a life of regrets. Okay.
Yeah.
The other day, we got a text message from Giorgio Armani, the clothing
Yeah.
company. And they sent a message to me saying, we have a special evening. Would you like to be our guest with your wife? So I text my wife and I said, would you like to go? She goes, no, I've got a guest here. I would rather not go. And I checked it. So you had to have a corona test. And I just thought, oh, I can't be bothered with a PCR test. So we didn't go. And the message came back, are you sure you don't want to come? I text back, yes, we're sure. Guess who went? 100 people. Giorgio Armani himself turned up from Italy. Okay.
Wow.
It was at the Burj Khalifa, the tallest tower in the world. And afterwards, Coldplay played. Coldplay, the band. Have you heard of them? The
Yes.
biggest
Yeah,
band
they're
in the world.
huge.
They played to 100 people. And I said to my wife, I said, you know what? I'm not going to refuse another opportunity again.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to miss.
No. Wow.
So all I had to say was yes, go, had the PCR test, done. I would have met my hero designer and
Yes.
my favorite band.
Oh my gosh. You probably regretted that one just for a little bit.
Yeah, and guess what plays every time I switch the radio on? Coldplay,
Coldplay.
just to remind me. Like, God
Of
damn.
course. That's just how
They
the
just got a
universe
new
works.
they just got a new song out as well. I'm like, oh God.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of going right into my next point is relationships are so huge, right, in life. And whether it's business relationships, personal relationships,
Yeah.
Regardless, relationships are everything. They're at the core. And so just like getting a text or a call like that, getting invited to such an amazing event, how what would you say is the key to creating healthy and lasting relationships, whether it's personal or business?
Self-worth. Okay. Know your values and recognize in others if they are in synergy with your values. When I first came here, lots of people want to get in my peer group. And I honestly knew in my heart and soul, I bypassed them. Okay. So I didn't spend too much time with them.
Yeah.
And I love those people. They didn't do me any harm, but I knew I'll pass them. Because the more time you spend with the lower peer group, you'll actually reduce your standards to their level or your goals to their level to fit in. So I always try to set myself the highest peer group,
Mhm.
even if I don't know them. I see Richard Branson in my peer group.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really do. I see Elon Musk in my peer group because every time I'm stuck, I think, what would Richard Branson do right now?
Yeah.
What would Elon Musk do right now? What would Jesus do right now? Seriously, what would Buddha do? What would Martin Luther King do? They don't have to be alive and you don't have to know them. But at the same time, you recognize patterns in people surrounding. Like my mom is extremely negative because she had a tough life, right? So I spend a lot of time loving her, but from a distance. Because I got too close too often, I just become very pessimistic,
Mhm.
right? So I recognize those. I absolutely worship her. I support her, but we don't spend much time with each other. Yeah, because sometimes that energy can drain me. Okay, so but you can use that energy as an encouragement as well, because I'm a very optimistic person, and I realized that my mom wasn't the person who dragged me down. She was actually my inspiration, because I just didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to live a life of fear, so I used her as my inspiration. And when I recognized that, we got closer.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's something that can sometimes be tough, especially if it's family members, right? With relationships where it's, it's not uplifting you. It's not it's not making you feel better. You walk away and you're like, oh man, I don't feel very positive. I feel more drained and not enthusiastic. And so how did you get over, did you ever struggle with any like internal guilt from doing that?
Still do,
Mm-hmm.
still do. But you're gonna. It's an internal warfare going on in your brain, right? So my granddad used to say you have a good angel and a bad angel, and they're both talking to you at the same time. It's just who you listen to. I say, listen to what serves you, do what serves you, say what serves you, okay? And you do the right things, and that will become your destiny, right? And that's your character, and that's what you leave behind. So in the morning, I go to the gym every morning, first thing in the morning. Not one single day I'm thinking, I can't wait to go to the gym. Every day I'm thinking, today is the day I'm just going to sleep over. But then I think to myself, the consequences, okay? So I dance with that thought. I don't beat myself up. I say, I'm only human. Everybody gets tired, but go to the gym and afterwards, you're going to feel great. And every time I feel great afterwards, okay? But it's an eternal battle all the time. All the time. It's who you listen to.
Yeah.
Never stops.
So what motivates?
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, you Google Bill Gates, and to many people, Bill Gates has made it. He's the second, third richest man in the world. And you Google him, and he's got 99.9% hate on the internet. Yeah, he's even behind coronavirus. He's a horrible guy. And you know what? He's not going to wake up in the morning focusing on those 99.9% of people who hate him, is he? Because he's doing other things. He's filling his cup with abundance. He's got a mission. He's in his own world. He's doing the right thing. So don't listen to the noise. Focus on your own values, right? And listen to the good angel, not the bad angel.
I love that. I'm totally going to think about that now. I believe I heard you say that actually when we were in Nashville, and it kind of stuck with me too. It's beautiful. So I kind of want to wrap up here just talking about, we're all human, right? So we all have days where we're not very motivated, or like you're saying, don't want to go to the gym, or maybe something, bad happens in business, and you have to re-motivate yourself. Like, what are maybe a couple takeaways if somebody's having a tough time, just like getting motivated or getting back up on their feet? What would you say to them as far as getting that little boost? What do you do?
First of all, I'd just say, don't beat yourself up. Okay. I call it the bathroom moment. So in a day, for instance, yourself, you're a partner, a daughter, a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, a coach. So we wear different hats. Okay. But when you get home to your beautiful apartment and it's nighttime, you go to the bathroom, you take your clothes off, you're brushing your teeth, you look in the mirror, and you have an honest conversation with yourself in the mirror. Okay. So have a truly honest conversation with yourself every night. That's my advice. And if it says, listen, I cheated my way through today, learn from it and don't do it tomorrow. Say, oh, I allowed negativity to win me over today. Learn from it. Don't do it again tomorrow. But have an honest conversation with yourself. Don't avoid that honest conversation. Okay. Don't beat yourself up. You're only human. You will trip. And that's the beauty of life. Okay. It soon shall pass. Okay. And keep looking at your goals. Let them drive you. And always have goals greater than yourself. Okay. So let's say I think, oh, I'm going to earn $1 million for myself. Great. After I've earned $1 million, I'm going to give 10% of that to children, to my mother, to my sister who needs it more than I do. Okay. Because when I have staff and I say, what's your desire greater than yourself? When I beat that salesperson up, not physically, but I'm driving them and I'm pushing them, I hold myself responsible to his wife, to his kids, to his parents, and he can't argue with me. Yeah. He can't say, well, don't push me so much, because, well, I don't care about you. I care about your family. You understand? And it drives them, because then they think, yeah, there's a greater need than just my own. Yeah. Okay. Because you do matter in life and you do affect people positively. Yes. That's so pretty. It's beautiful. So Dariush, as far as your company goes, who would you say is because we're pushing this baby out to the world. We're pushing it out on social media. How can I help you? Who's an amazing connection for you that
you work with here in the United States or want to work with that we can.
Thank you. I would love to work with you to get our message on stage as much as possible, get as many podcasts to the States. I did a Bradley interview 5 months, 6 months ago, and the States just like door opened. And I'm doing almost a podcast every couple of days, and my following's gone through the roof. I'm getting invitations in 2022 to come on stage and eventually probably come to the US. So if we can set the bar higher all the time and have a great peer group of promoters who want me to speak on stage or have more podcasts, I'm here. And I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve.
Well, you're a beautiful light in this world. And I seriously feel so grateful that I met you at Monster Nation. And I feel like I'm forever indebted to Coach Burt and Natalie just for having that conference and having you there. So it's just been a beautiful friendship. And I'm always in your corner and supporting you. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on here, and just really grateful for you.
You're an amazing soul. Thank you so much. God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.